Hello, welcome back, kiddos. Today, well, I was going down there, it doesn't matter. Today, I am doing a song by Mad Seasons, which was another project with Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, and it's called River of Deceit. And I wanted to talk about the song today because I've been listening to it a lot lately. It's because it's a really good song, but there's a lot of interesting meaning behind it. Because apparently, when they were recording the album for Mad Seasons, Lane was reading this book, The Prophet book, by Khalil Gibran. I don't know if I said that right. It's close enough. I'm bad with foreign names sometimes. My pronunciation can be a little bit off. And what was interesting is that the song is half about like what he read in this book, but also partially about his drug addiction, which a lot of his songs were about, which ultimately is what killed him when he overdosed in his apartment. So let's go over the brief synopsis because we're not going to go over the whole book because that'd be a whole lot. The Prophet al-Mustafa has lived in the city of Orphalese, we'll move on, for 12 years and is about to board a ship which will carry him home. He is stopped by a group of people with whom he discusses topics such as life and the human condition. The book is divided into chapters dealing with love, marriage, children, giving, eating, and drinking, work, joy, and sorrow, houses, clothes, buying and selling, crime and punishment, laws, freedom, reason and passion, pain, self-knowledge, teaching, friendship, talking, time, good and evil, prayer, pleasure, beauty, religion, and death. Whew. Look, one more quick thing. The Prophet has been translated into more than 100 languages, making it one of the most translated books in history. By 2012, it had sold more than 9 million copies in its American edition alone since its original publication in 1923. Wow. So yeah, so this song is half about this book and what he read in the book, and also partially about his own drug addiction. That being said, I'm glad we could cover all that. Let's get into the song because the lyrics are really quite interesting. Oh yeah. Also, another interesting thing is one of the other band members, whose name I can't remember, said that when Lane described this project, he described it more so like he was on a. It wasn't so much like a rock journey, but it was more of a spiritual journey when recording this. So I think that was also very interesting. And also, I really like the melody, the way the melody builds. It's got this kind of earthy but kind of somber tone to it, which really is evocative of the nature of the song and the lyrics, which are about to start soon. Let's keep going.
My pain is self-chosen, at least so the prophet says. I could either burn or cut off my pride and buy some time. A head full of lies is a weight tied to my waist.
Okay, so when he says, "My pain is self-chosen," at least so the prophet says. Before I understood certain context, one can say that he's talking about a literal prophet. But and if you saw the book called Prophet, one could take that as him reading the book, and one of the lessons he took from the book is that your pain, the pain that he suffers through, was of his own making, his own decision, which again leads back to his drug addiction. Like he chose, like his drug addiction, which I mean, no one really chooses to be an addict, but you know what I mean. He chose to do drugs, so to speak, in a certain sense. So the pain that it brought upon him was one that he inflicted upon himself, and something, and the method of that pain is something that he chose for himself, or at least that's what the book conveys to him, which is a lesson I think he took away from it, ultimately. And then when he says, a head full of lies is the weight tied to my waist. Essentially, all the like everything, one could take it as like the lies that he tells himself, the deception that he brings upon himself, which is like the whole kind of idea is that this is all kind of self-inflicted, and the head full of lies is the weight that's ultimately dragging him down, because maybe it's like he's living in a delusional state and is not willing to accept the truth. So, when he said, so basically, the lies that are in his head is a weight that drags him down into the river of deceit, which plays back into the lies. The river of deceit is essentially, a river of lies, a river of deception, duh. But, and like you said, it's a river that only flows down, like essentially downstream. Hopefully you didn't hear that. Oh God. Hopefully the dog will start barking soon. And hopefully you don't hear the dog barking. I think there's a mailman somewhere. Anyway, so essentially he's being dragged down this river of deceit. He's being, pulled to his own demise, one could say, because of an unwillingness to accept the truth. One could take it.
My pain is self-chosen. At least I believe it to be.
Okay, I don't like to pause in the middle of a lyric, or middle of a verse, but I do think it's very interesting to compare it to the original, to the first verse when he says, "My pain is self-chosen, at least so the prophet says," versus, "My pain is self-chosen, I believe it to be." Which is one is like, the book is, when I'm reading this book, it's basically saying that my pain is self-chosen, but then I think this is him internalizing that idea that, if my pain is self-chosen, I do believe that I have picked my own method of suffering. I have decided this fate for myself. This is what I've done to me, and this is essentially kind of like it's my own fault. It's essentially, I think, the first verse is him saying that the book is telling me this. The second verse is him saying, taking ownership of that, taking some accountability for the choices that he has made.
I could either drown or
Okay, so the second part is very interesting, I think, because he said, because like again, he says, "My pain is self-chosen, so I believe it to be." And as we saw from the chorus, the river of deceit pulls you down as it only flows downstream, and it only drags you down. And his deceit and his lies are the thing that drags him down. And so, I believe in the second verse, he's taking accountability, and by taking accountability, he realizes that I have a choice. My choice is I could either let myself sink and drown, or I could shed my skin, which is probably like a crab. Do crabs do that? Or those like those crabs that get into the shells? But I can I can shed my skin and save myself, pull myself to shore, put on a new shell, a new beautiful shell for everyone to see. Essentially, I could save myself and transform to become something more acceptable, something beautiful, something to present myself in a new way to others. Kind of, yeah?
The river of deceit flows down. Yeah, the only direction we flow is down, down, all down.
I hate to pause it again, but I think it's like when he really says like the only direction we flow is down, like it really emphasizes the point that like, the decisions, the choices that I've made, this addiction that I have, the drugs that I've done, the things that I've done, take me down, and it only drags me further down with every moment, with every decision, with every choice. This river of deceit, these lies, this illusion that I tell myself only lead me down this path, and it only takes me down. There is no going up from this.
Down, all down, down, all down, down, all down. The pain is self-chosen. Yeah, our pain is self-chosen.
I love how he translates it from my to our, like, my pain is self chosen, our pain is self chosen. And I think that rings very true for a lot of us because a lot of times, like, the suffering that we go through, the conflict that we deal with, a lot of that is sometimes of our own making. A lot of that is sometimes of our own making. A lot of that is of our own making. And there are in my opinion, there are very few things that happen to us that aren't a result of our own action and not just a thing that happened out of nowhere. It wasn't just a random event. A lot of times, some decision that we made caused our own suffering. And if we refuse to learn from it, then we will continue to suffer because our decisions will always lead us down this path every single time. Hence, it'll be in your own sort of river of deceit taking you down, and it only goes down if you refuse to adapt, change, or learn. Wait, I just wanted to hear that part. Anyway, that was River of Deceit by Mad Season. A beautiful song. I think it's a great song. And it's just like a different side of Lane Staley that's very different tonally from Alice in Chains. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Do you like this song? Is there another Mad Season song you like to hear me talk about? Let me know. And until next time, I'll talk to you later, alright? Thanks for watching. Peace.